Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome to our webinar. Please confirm you can hear me and that you can see me. Good evening. Can we hear me? Can we see me? Good evening. Hi, everyone. Please tell us in the chat box your name, your location, and your expectations from this session today. Tell us your name, your location, and your expectations from this session today. It's so good to have you join us today. I know some of you have not interacted with us at Cloud Booster before, but so excited to have you. Don't worry, all the answers, all the questions you have, we're here to provide answers, right? That's what we're here to do today. So please tell us your name, your location, and your expectations. So we have Pleasant from Abuja, Sadiq, Damola, we have people from Lagos, Alberta, we have people from UAE, Festac, Lagos, Netherlands, Ekpe, Lagos, Abuja. Someone is from Nigeria, Ghana, Edo State, Benin, Cyprus, amazing. Calabar, we have Akwa Ibom, Ghana. Okay, don't forget to add your expectations. Okay, Ibejuleki. Okay, Prince. Prince is from Lagos, and his expectation is to have insight into cloud programming. Okay, people from Cameroon, Zimbabwe, Lagos, Germany, Manchester, UK. This is good. Cote d'Ivoire, Zambia. Interesting. It's good to have all of us on board tonight or this evening or whatever time you are. Some people have come for a full insight. Some people want a roadmap into cloud engineering. We have Nicholas from Ghana. We have someone from Edinburgh. Okay, Opeyemi says Opeyemi is from Abuja, has no background in tech, and Opeyemi says, I am thirsty to become a cloud engineer, and boom, I'm here. I expect to be better from here. I love that. Someone from Katsina is saying, just eager to know the possibility of learning cloud computing without background in technology. Expectation is to learn and become the best cloud engineer. Amazing. Okay, we get the gist and you are in the right place. So welcome to Cloud Booster Academy. We're your host for this webinar today. My name is Bimsola Ojo. I'm the founder of Cloud Booster Academy. I'm a cloud DevOps professional. I've been in this field for over half a decade. And today we have a fireside chat with one of our alumni from Cloud Booster Academy. She is going to be, myself and her are going to be, we're just going to be having this conversation, right? And we're going to be answering questions that you have. So, I may not be able to take everybody's introduction, so don't worry about that. Don't worry, I see it and I hear you, and you're very much welcome. So what we're going to do is that we're going to get straight into, I will introduce our guests, and then we'll go straight into answering all the questions that you have. There are some things that, let me set expectations. So for this particular fireside chat, what I'm going to be doing with my colleague Tosin Adedoyin is that we're going to be answering questions, right? We're going to be having conversations. And if you have any questions, just put it in the Slido link that we're going to put in the chat box. There will be a Slido link where you should put your questions. Please don't put your questions directly on Zoom, because we want to make sure that we get your question and we answer it and we're able to track it. So please, all your questions should be on Slido, and we're going to put the link in the chat box shortly. So as we're talking, as we're discussing, any questions that come to your mind, just put it in Slido and we will take it, okay? Without wasting too much time, let me introduce you to our special guest for today. Okay, she's already here. Amazing. Her name is Oluwatosin Adedoyin. So for Oluwatosin Adedoyin, I don't know, let me give you some time to introduce yourself. I think it's honestly one thing, yeah, let her introduce herself and I'll add a bit of adjuster if she's trying to be humble. So please go for it. Kindly introduce yourself, Tosin.
Hi everyone. Let me just confirm. Can everyone hear me? Can I just get yes? Thank you, Hamid. Yes, okay, good. That I just need to be sure. Thank you all. So my name is Tosin. I am currently a cloud platform engineer at BGSS here in the UK. I work and live here in the UK with my husband. I learned with Cloud Booster. I am one of the really happy stories of Cloud Booster. That's why I'm always very excited to talk about Cloud Booster. What else? I've been in the career, at least. I like to add Cloud Booster to my career. So I've been here for 3 years. in the cloud industry. And so from learning and to starting my job and all of it. So it's been 3 years so far. And yeah, it's been a really good time. That's it from me.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Tosin. Yeah, so Tosin was part of, she's an alumni for Cloud Booster, right? She's been in Cloud for about 3 years. So she was part of the first set of students that we actually taught at Cloud Booster. And, shortly after her time with us at Cloud Booster, she got her AWS Cloud certification. And then she went ahead to, and she got a really good job. In fact, she was in Nigeria then when she did her training with us. And then, she was able to get a job in the UK. We'll go into the details of that. But one thing we want you to know, I know most of you have a non-tech background, you're wondering, can you get into cloud computing space? Tosin will share her story, right? How she got into cloud computing. She didn't study anything tech related in university. She studied civil engineering. So some of the questions that we've gotten are, we want to know, and Tosin, we're just going to be talking, right? I want you to share with the audience your why did you consider cloud computing in the first place? Why? Where did it start from, right? And it will help a lot of people. Some people here are saying, I'm considering cloud computing. So why did you consider cloud computing in the first place, right? And were your expectations met? Please tell us.
So for me, I mean, honestly, I just wanted to get into, tech. I knew that tech was a correct, it's a correct career. It's a career that you really want to grow and you can grow in, you can build. And so I had been hearing a lot about cloud. I've been hearing a lot about cloud computing, that this is something that is new and trendy. And I think it was like 2020 that there was this whole rave around cloud computing, especially with, COVID and the lockdown. So there was such a rave around it. And, I just found out about Cloud Booster. I didn't even think twice. I just jumped straight into it. And yeah, expectations have definitely been met. For me, it was simply career progression. I wanted to build a career here. And so I was able to build a career almost immediately. And it has just been growing on and on. And the journey keeps getting, it keeps growing. There's a chance for progression, basically. And yeah, my expectations have been met. Yeah.
Amazing, Tosin. Thank you for sharing. So you wanted to get into tech. So one thing that you can hear from what Tosin is saying is that she understood it was started from the trend, right? There was a lot of buzz around cloud computing, and she decided that, let me explore this option. When it comes to choosing your pathway in tech, people just say, oh, tech. It's not just about being in tech. You need to be in an area in tech that is in high demand. And I just want to add to that, right? Talking about the pandemic, the buzz, and all of that. I personally got into cloud computing as a result of the role I was in my work. So I started my career in Accenture, right? I was in consulting, and it was just general tech consulting. And I remember there was an internal role for a cloud engineer. I didn't know what cloud was, right? I didn't know what cloud computing was. I just started to jump on that role, and I started learning on the job. And the pandemic hit. And then we noticed that, wow, a lot of organizations were interested in this thing called cloud computing, right? And, because I had the skills, I had many people reaching out to me. I mean, till date, no exaggeration, I've had about 300 companies reach out to me on LinkedIn asking, in the last 3 years, right? Asking if I want to take on a role with them because of how much in demand cloud computing skills are. And anybody can learn it, right? Anybody can learn it. And that brings me to my next question, Tosin. So, how did you now make a decision? Okay, let's start with I'm coming. I'm going to have to combine a lot of questions because we have so many questions in this space. So what is the easiest way for a complete beginner to start learning about cloud computing, right? And maybe I'll combine that with how long can it take to become advanced in cloud computing, and how do you get hired? So 2 questions. What is the easiest way for a complete beginner to start learning about cloud computing, right? And then how does one get advanced in the field of how do you get to be so good at cloud computing and then you get hired? So please share.
Well, my answer is simple. Join Cloud Booster. That's the simplest answer. But really, what Cloud Booster does, and what I think was actually the best thing, the very, very first thing I think I would advise anybody that wants to get into cloud, learn the cloud. learn it. Pick up AWS or Azure. Well, I personally right now at work, I work with Azure, but my foundation was with AWS because AWS was the first cloud computing company. They are the biggest, and everything that you learn there is transferable to other cloud providers. So learn it. Just pick up AWS and start learning it. I would usually advise try to prepare for a certification. It might be a bit expensive. Just try to prepare for it. Even if you don't want to take the certification, prepare for it. So that just gives you the foundation for it. So I would say that's the first thing to do. Going forward, you need, of course, apart from just knowing the cloud provider and also understanding, because most of these courses, they understand as people are beginners. So they take you away from the scratch of what is even cloud. Cloud is not in the sky. All of that. They actually take you through exactly what you need to understand and what exactly it is. So if you can really take a proper course, Cloud Booster, where if you take a proper course, on one of these cloud providers, you learn, you get to understand it. Now, going forward, I will start to say you need your technical skills, 100%. And these technical skills can be as simple as Linux. Linux is just how we communicate with our computers. Instead of, the way you use Windows, you want to learn the Linux operating system. That's something else you want to learn. Then you probably want to learn a coding language. You might not always code, but it's very helpful. So you can try maybe scripting like Python, or if you're still furthering yourself with Linux, you want to learn maybe Bash scripting. Basically, you want to get grounded in computer skills, those foundations. Now, becoming advanced, I would say once you've learned some of these foundations, I think I can say start looking for a role. If you really want to get advanced, it's best to get advanced in practical skills. You want to actually, so even if you don't get a job, get practical. There are, once again, I'm sorry to continue saying Cloud Booster, but Cloud Booster does provide, ways that you can be practical. Like you can, how do you learn maths? You learn maths by actually doing the maths. You don't just read maths, you have to actually do maths. And so that's how it is in tech generally. You have to practice it, and that's how you get advanced. You see problems, you solve problems, you think for yourself. That's very important. You need to learn to think for yourself. And yeah, I hope I've been able to answer questions.
Tosin, thank you so much. And welcome to those that are just joining us. Just like I said at the beginning, this conversation that I'm having with Tosin is just to give you like a teaser into the world of cloud computing, right? And let you know what cloud computing is all about. Some of you are asking questions about training, about, our one-day bootcamp. Let me just put a word there. If you sign up for our one-day bootcamp, this is not the one-day bootcamp, right? This is a webinar where we're just giving you a gist, life, the life of a cloud professional. Tosin and myself are cloud professionals. We just want to give you a teaser into that. We'll talk about the bootcamp and the training much later towards the end. So just stay tuned and listen to all our gist. Now, someone is asking a question about, someone is asking, how do you see the demand for cloud professionals evolving in the next few years? And another question off the back of that is, what impact do emerging technologies like AI and machine learning have on cloud careers? So let me just say that because it's similar to what I've said before. I'll just take that question and then I'll ask Tosin the next one, right? When it comes to the field of cloud computing, right? Okay, some of you are also asking, some of you have never heard of cloud computing before. So let me just quickly put a word out there about cloud computing. When we talk about cloud computing, it's simply the delivery of software applications, databases. Is this delivery of computing resources on the cloud, right? What do I mean by that? If you want to use a computer, what you will typically do is to get a physical machine like your laptop, right? And you begin to access the computing resources. But what cloud computing does is that instead of you to buy a physical computer every time you have computing needs, what you do is to rent what exactly you want to do. You rent the resources from a major cloud provider like AWS. Someone is asking what is AWS, like Microsoft Azure, like Google Cloud Platform. These are the major cloud providers, right? So instead of you to always to get a physical machine anytime you need cloud computing services, what you do is to just rent exactly what you need from a cloud provider. And it's similar to the model of an Uber, for example. You know, think of the Uber model. What we're trying to move away from is everybody having their own cars. Do you necessarily need to have a car all the time? You know, what you need is to be able to move from one place to another. So rather than buy a car and have to maintain the car, what happens with Uber model is saying, what happens with the Uber model is you just need to get from one place to another. So every time you need to get from one place to another, order a ride, right? And then the ride takes you from one place to another. That's what cloud computing is. And I give you another example, is like Google Drive, right? Everyone here uses Google Drive or Google Search, you know, right? Instead of you to, you know, if you have a movie file and you save it on your laptop, right, that movie is going to take up space from your laptop. But when you decide that you want to upload that movie file to Google Drive, what happens is that even if your laptop breaks, right, your movie would always be on Google Drive. All you need is access to internet and you have access to that information. So the pandemic hit in 2020 and the demand for this increased because a lot of organizations started understanding why it was important for them to move their workload to a global cloud provider who takes away all the headache of them having to maintain computers by themselves. This is Cloud Simplified. Don't worry, if you want to find out more, I'll tell you about our one-day bootcamp at the end. So the key thing I want you to know is that it is an emerging technology and the demand for cloud professionals continues to increase. 95% of businesses are planning to move their workload to the cloud by 2025. The cloud computing market has continued to increase. It was about $200 million market about 3 years ago, and now we're talking about $1 billion market. That's the rate of increase as far as cloud computing market is concerned. And these are things that you can check online as well. Google it. Google the top in-demand skills in tech. Google, you know, the cloud computing market. You know, what does the market look like? So emerging technologies like AI, data science, all of them can leverage cloud computing. You know, so cloud computing is even an enabler for all of those emerging technologies. So it just makes it a very beautiful place to be in if you're really, really thinking about having your own niche in the world of cloud computing and future-proofing your career. So, see, my next question for you is this, right? And it's based on what people are saying. Okay, you already talked about the basic technical skills to start, foundational skills we talked about. So now, what are the mistakes to avoid when starting a career in cloud computing? You know, at some point you had a desire to go into cloud computing, right? How were you? I mean, maybe you know some people that have made mistakes on their transition journey. What would you say are some of the mistakes that people should avoid if they want to move into the world of cloud?
Honestly, I think the major mistake is just delaying. You know, this cloud computing is fast, is moving. And yeah, at some point, the truth is that you will feel discouraged at a lot of points. It's just part of it. There are times when even I, at my job, like I'm in this job, I've gotten the job already, I have the career already, I still feel discouraged a lot. But delaying is one of the, it's one of the worst things you can do for yourself. So if at some point, you start to feel discouraged, maybe you're getting somewhere, then something doesn't really make sense, don't waste time. Try to, move fast in, basically, how do I say it? Move forward as much as you can. And so how will you move forward? One thing is to definitely have people around you. I think a community is one of the biggest things. And that's also kind of a second mistake a lot of people have made because they try to do it on their own. I remember very well, before Cloud Booster, there was this time I was randomly interested. I think I had an opportunity to take an Azure exam. It was long ago. It was just before, and I was all on my own, completely on my own. I didn't even really know what cloud computing was, what was going on. And I remember I tried to take the exam. I just didn't really, it didn't make any sense to me. And I just left it. I didn't get the opportunity again. And then later, of course, there was Cloud Booster. So doing it alone, definitely. And then that delay, I don't know how to explain it. I'm sure some people might be able to understand what I'm trying to say. When you feel discouraged and I don't know, you start to get laid back. At the end of the day, you have to come back to it. You have to come back to it and you have to overcome it. Because at the end of the day, when you have a problem, usually the problems are usually technical problems. Maybe you're stuck. Overcoming those technical problems is what actually makes you advanced. That's what makes you a professional, because you face this thing and you've overcome it. That's usually the difference between a senior and a junior. So don't waste time in those things. If you have a problem, find your community, ask questions, learn to Google, even if your community is not around you, there are so many communities online now that you can join, ask questions, get on Stack Overflow, get on Google, ask your question, ask ChatGPT. Make sure you don't waste time, basically. I think that wasting of time is something I personally have experienced, and I think I could have gone a lot further if I hadn't wasted some time, at different points. So yeah, and of course, have your community. So yeah.
So you can hear from Tosin, who is someone who has gone on that journey that you're looking to go to. Be decisive early on. Don't waste time. Make up your mind about the fact that you're ready to do this transition and go for it. And you can't do it alone. That's another mistake people make. People think, and I'll add some other mistakes as well from my experience, right? People think that, oh, let me just do this by myself. Let me just go and buy one course online and begin to do it. Or maybe sit down with a YouTube video and all of that. It is very boring when you learn it by yourself. One of the things that people have said about their journey with us at Cloud Booster is how the community has helped them, has gingered them. The days that they feel down, they can't go anymore. You have a group member, an accountability partner who is there to say, you know what, we can do this. Let's do our exam. Let's apply. You keep hearing people's success stories. I mean, many people have gone through our academy with different backgrounds. They studied dentistry, studied English, studied different things. Some people have even gotten PhD in some fields. They've transitioned into cloud computing and they've gotten job opportunities. So you can also do it. People are asking if there's any age restriction. There is no age restriction. There is no gender restriction. There's no background. There's no background restriction, right? It's just about people that are ready. You've made up your mind that, you know what, I'm not going to waste time again in this 2024. Someone is asking, can I still transition in 2024? Do you know that you can, based on the track record of people that have worked with us, you can literally still go from not knowing anything about cloud computing in this 2024 to actually learning everything from scratch through our, 18 weeks bootcamp, which I'll talk about later. You can learn from scratch and then do your certification and still get a job. You can. Some people have done all of that within 4, 5, 6 months. How long it takes depends on your level of commitment. But we want you to know that it is possible. And that's why we started Cloud Booster Academy, so that we can help people. All these opportunities were coming my way. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to keep this to myself. When I know that people are out there looking for jobs, and I know that you don't need any background in anything, I just need you to be ready and be willing to put in the work. With Cloud Booster, we have classes on Saturdays every 18 weeks. We have a one-day bootcamp that you come just to have an experience of what the classes look like, and then it guides you to be able to make a decision. But we want you to know that there's no age limit, there's no restriction in your background. However, I don't sugarcoat the fact that because it is a transition journey, you're going into a field that you haven't been before. You have to be ready to put in the work. So those are the people that want, and of course, you're comfortable using the computer, then you're able to work with us. Okay, so people are also asking, can a cloud computing personnel work? What roles or companies? What is the total cost of the training and duration of the program? Okay, somebody else, I want to combine it with a few questions. Somebody else is saying, can I combine your cloud training with a master's program in the UK? If yes, what's the price to enroll for the comprehensive cloud computing course? Okay, someone is saying, can I move permanently abroad with cloud computing? How since cloud engineers can work remotely? And another person is saying, how easy and possible is it to get a job after learning? Would there be internship opportunities for us after graduating? So the general theme I see around these questions is people are asking, you know what happens? What kind of training would you want us to do? Is this something, what's the difference between the training that you're doing here and a master's degree, for example? And then people also want to know the kind of opportunities that are available and, the ease of getting a job after learning. So Tosin, would you like to speak to that? What would you say, comparing a bootcamp like ours with a master's degree, which one would you prioritize? Or if someone already has a master's degree anyway, what should they do? And then what kind of opportunities can they get? And how easy is it to access those opportunities?
Okay, so if I'm right, the first question is combining a master's with it. Certainly, there were quite a number of people. I mean, I was an instructor at Cloud Booster for a while, so I have seen quite a number of students. They were doing their masters during the week, and on Saturday, they took classes. So you just have to be very dedicated to this. You have to know that, okay, see, this is what I'm doing. So just plan your time properly. Maybe do all of your schoolwork during the week. And then on Saturday, you focus on Cloud Booster, and then, you know, mix it up. When you have assignments, do your assignments. Just plan yourself properly. But basically, we have seen quite a lot of students that they were master students here in the UK, or, you know, wherever they were, and they were taking classes on Saturdays. And also full-time workers as well. I actually had a job when I was training with Cloud Booster. So yeah, it's something you can definitely do. The second question, what kind of company can I work in? Am I right? Is okay.
The kind of roles and opportunities that are available.
The kind of roles and opportunities.
Including remote, please. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely there are remote jobs. So there are companies all over the world. There are companies that are remote. They are willing to hire from Nigeria. I know quite a number of people that work in Nigeria and they work remotely abroad. There are companies within Nigeria. I'm sorry, I might not be able to speak for other African countries, but I'm pretty sure I'm not remote companies. You can be any part of the world, definitely. You can be anywhere in the world and you can do your job. That one doesn't matter. But for companies I know there are a number of companies in Nigeria. There's somebody that just graduated from Cloud Booster and she got a job in Nigeria as a DevOps engineer. No, 2 people that I know of that got jobs as DevOps engineers in Nigeria, and they are going to their office, they are working abroad as well. So you can get a job as a cloud engineer, which is what I am primarily. You can get a job as a DevOps engineer. Most times we pretty much do the same thing. We get jobs as platform engineer. We pretty much do the same thing. You can get a job as an SRE like Taiwo. So Taiwo is also somebody who was in Nigeria, and he actually got a job here in the UK that relocated him. So he was in his own country, you know, he was in Nigeria just like, you know, a number of you. And he got a job that was willing to relocate. And he has relocated. He's now in the UK working for Sky. So there are companies like that. But it all depends on how tenacious you are. Are you putting in the work? They have to know, because the thing is that companies need you as much as you need them. So they want to hire you to do something for them, and you have to show them you can do this thing. So even if you're still learning, you have to just show that willingness. And that's, how do I say it? You have to show the willingness, and you also have to show the character. Even if you don't have all the skills yet, I'm still learning this thing, but you have to show that character, that you're willing to do this thing, and they're happy to train as long as they know that. See, Gbemi, for example, Gbemi did not know anything about cloud computing, and yes, she was hired as a cloud engineer within the company because they saw somebody that was willing to do the job, and so they need to know that you're willing to do the job. So wherever you are in the world, these people there are jobs all over, and it keeps increasing. So yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So honestly, there are a range of opportunities for you. Tosi has talked about different roles, and we go into the details of this in our one-day bootcamp anyway. You know, different roles that you can take, kind of companies you can work in. You can work in consulting, you can work in banks, you can work in almost every industry, any industry that requires the use of technology, any industry that needs a place to host their data. You know, any company that has adapted, that has decided to move to the cloud, or a consulting firm that is involved in advising people. I personally have worked in consulting. I've worked with Accenture Consulting in the UK. I've worked with Capital One Financial Services, a bank. I've also worked in consulting. I'm currently in PwC at the moment, you know, so there are lots of opportunities in cloud computing in terms of industries and in terms of roles that you want to take on. People are asking about our bootcamp, our 18 weeks bootcamp. Don't worry, just relax. I'll come to that at the end. I'll tell you all the information that you need. I just want to take questions around the actual cloud computing and jobs related to it and how people can successfully transition. Okay, so someone else is asking, right? Do you train all of this, technical and coding, right? And then someone is saying, can I pursue cloud computing without a science background? You know, so what we do at Cloud Booster, right, is that, like I said, you don't need any background. No need for science, no need for technology, no need for STEM background. Regardless of your background, you can transition. Please let me also quickly emphasize, please type your questions in Slido so that we don't miss it, right? It is so important. We're posting the Slido link so that you can just put your questions there and we'll take it. And of course, if someone has already asked your question, you can just like it so we can see that many people are interested in that question. Now, about do we train you in cloud computing skills? That's what we're all about in Cloud Booster Academy, right? We have an 18 weeks bootcamp where we take you literally from zero into cloud computing. People's comments from this have been like, oh, wow, I had no idea what cloud computing was. I had no idea what DevOps was. What we noticed in the world of cloud computing is that the skills that are really in the most demand, because there's no point of you enrolling in a training and not being able to get a job out of it. Right? So, excuse me, so you want to get into a field where you know that once you finish your training, you have significantly increased your value and you stand a chance to be hired, right? So what we do at Cloud Booster is that we train you with cloud computing and DevOps skills. So you become a cloud DevOps professional, right? What that helps you to do is that's really the field in cloud computing that we've seen that there are so many job opportunities. So we teach you cloud computing and DevOps skills in addition. And all of this you learn from scratch. What are the technologies that you learn? You learn cloud computing. We particularly teach you AWS, right? Amazon Web Services, because it's the largest. We'll tell you why we teach you when you sign up for our bootcamp, right? But then it's the largest and they have the most services. Once you learn cloud computing, you can learn other technology skills, other cloud providers like Azure, like Tosin was saying, right? So we teach you Linux programming. We teach you Python. Some of you have run away from Python. You heard the word Python before, you're like, it's not for me. Trust me, we teach you from scratch. So it doesn't really matter whether, and Python is the easiest programming. It's about the easiest programming language. It's so easy compared to some other ones. I don't want to call names in case some of you are in the field of software development, So Python is very easy. It's literally like English language, right? And we teach you from scratch. We literally teach you like you haven't done anything in that field. You can check our testimonials online. That's what we do. Right, so we teach you Linux, we teach you Python, we teach you DevOps tools like Jenkins, Ansible, Kubernetes, Docker, right? All of these tools are what we found out that recruiters are looking for. They want people that can use all of these technologies as a cloud DevOps professional. And those are the kind of jobs that people are looking. We did an analysis of it, recruiters that were always coming. What are the kind of tools that they expect people to be able to use? And those are the skills that we're going to teach you. So we teach you technical skills. And the way our classes are structured is that, we teach you lectures. And then most importantly, you do hands-on training. That's why if you're interested in the 18 weeks program, just sign up for our bootcamp. It gives you a taster to what that 18 weeks training looks like. So we don't just sit down and start teaching you things that are not relevant, So I also went to universities where, let me not even talk, right? You learn all of these skills and you call yourself a particular degree. I mean, I studied mechanical engineering, for example. Both my master's and my BSc and master's, and my BSc was in a part of the world that I wouldn't mention. But you know that there are times that you go to academic institutions and you learn all of these things and you even get good grades, right? And when it's time to do the job, it becomes a problem. But what we do at Cloud Booster Academy is that our curriculum is industry driven, because all of us that have come together to put the program together, we are cloud DevOps professionals. Tosin has been in this field for 3 years. She's one of our lecturers at Cloud Booster, right? After she finished her training with us, she became a lecturer. I have been in the field for over 6 years now. We have people that are working in AWS themselves. These are the people that teach you. People that I can literally be telling you in a class what I just did at work the previous day. Our classes are on Saturday, so every Saturday you come for lecture. So I'm literally teaching you what I did at work yesterday. Same thing with Tosin. So it makes it real. It gives you that insight to the real world. You're able to build solutions on the cloud, package all of these things into proper work experience. It's your interview and then you land job opportunities. Your ability to land a job after your training, many of you are asking, the opportunities are there. We are going to give you everything you need. We're going to teach you technical. We're going to teach you how to put your CV together, interview simulations, how to put your LinkedIn profile together, how to put buzzwords so that you'll get noticed. It is now left for you to be able to put in the work and then get the best out of it. People that have gotten the best out of our training are people that put in the work, went ahead, did their exam, and have gotten job opportunity. And there's so many of them. Tosin is just an example. So I hope we've been able to answer that question. So I'm just going to move on very quickly to, another question that people are asking. So people want to know a day in the life of a cloud engineer. a day in the life of a cloud engineer. Just give people a teaser or a taste into what you do, you know, in your company as a cloud platform engineer.
So, well, I think the first thing that we always start our day with is stand up. So stand up is where we come in as a team. So my team right now, we're about 6 of us. There are teams that are larger. I've been in a team of 20. So it depends on your team. So anyway, a team of 6 of us, we come in the morning, we talk about what we've done the previous day because we mostly work remotely. So how exactly? So you specifically talk, you talk about the technicalities of what you have done the previous day and what you plan on doing today and any support that you might need. And then, we go ahead. Right now, I'm working on a project where I'm trying to gather security constraints and security considerations. That's what I'm doing right now. But of course, there are so many other things. So right now, what I'm just currently working on is I'm trying to gather the requirements for the cloud security because we're a new team right now. So that's this particular project, the new team. So I'm just gathering all of the security information. Some other times I might be working on something else. I might be working on monitoring. Maybe we want to implement a monitoring system. Or I might be working on building something from scratch, we're trying to create some virtual machines or we're trying to work on some serverless functions, different things like that. So yeah, it could be new, it could be, so it can be, deploying resources for the very first time. That's one. Or like what I'm doing right now, gathering information so that by the next sprint is usually like 2 weeks time. So after the next sprint, I'll likely work on what I have gathered and actually deploy resources. After that, I might be working on managing and maintaining what I have already created. And it keeps going on. And then bugs arise. Of course, there will always be problems. You fix the problems. You go into meetings. We have meetings quite a lot because you need to hear from stakeholders. You need to hear from other people in the team. You need to hear from other teams that are affected by the work that you're doing. And you take feedback, you work on the feedback and so on like that. So I hope that sort of answers the question.
Thank you, Tosin. So I hope that helps for people that are asking about a day in the life of a cloud professional. So some people are asking, I know we've both talked about our cloud journey, but some people are still saying, you know what, do you have any regrets transitioning into cloud computing and all of that? What has your journey been like? I will just touch on that because Tosin has shared her own. I was part of those people. I felt like I was fortunate to get a job in cloud even before all of the buzz in cloud computing came. So I learned on the job and it was extremely difficult. Like I had to put in times 100 extra. I'm not even joking. I literally had no vacations, because I had to be learning. And why they hired me was based on my previous credential. They had seen that, oh, this girl, she's had all of this. She had really good grades in school and all of that. She's done all of this. All of this. I did a bit of some small programming projects on my own. And they were like, okay, if she's done all of this, we can give her a chance. Now, not everyone gets that kind of chance, right? Which is where Cloud Booster Academy comes in, to actually give you that, because you need something that will give you that start, that will give you an opportunity for an organization to hire you. So getting into cloud computing, I learned on the job. It was so difficult, right? But then I had to push through and I had to leverage my colleagues. Another reason why Cloud Booster Academy started was because most times when I saw trainings, they'll be like, oh, we're going to teach you from scratch. And then when I start watching the videos or I start learning, I'll realize that they start training some technical jargons that I didn't understand. So that's something we're extremely mindful about in Cloud Booster. Absolutely no regrets, because where I am in my career right now, which is where you will be in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I'm at a point where recruiters keep reaching out. Some people will say, oh, want to double your offer, want to do this, want to give you 6 digits in pounds. And the reason for that is because is because of how valuable you will become after you learn all of the skills, right? And it is for anybody. So right now I'm loving the world of cloud computing. There's no going back. It's just about adding the years of experience and keep becoming more valuable. And that's where we want to get you to be, really, because we know that it is possible. We know that it is possible. So some people are also asking about Cloud Booster training. Do you get a certification afterwards? When you finish your training with us at Cloud Booster, you get your AWS Solutions Architect Associate training. That's a global it's a global certificate, right? So, and then you also get a certificate of completion from us. You also get to add us as, you know, part of your work experience with cloud computing, and that significantly increases your chances. You getting a job afterwards is extremely possible. That is what we equip you for. We now expect you to do the work to ensure that it happens. And people that have gone through our training and have gotten opportunities are people that have taken off everything that we're giving them, and they've been able to make the best out of it. Okay, so which other questions? Let's see. Let's see. I know, don't worry, it's just a 1 hour session, and everybody that's asking our practical knowledge, Linux and all of that, yes, we will teach you all of that. Okay, right, okay, so I think we've talked about first steps, talk about, you know, mistakes that you've made. I just have 2 more questions for Tosin, and then I'll go straight into talking about the bootcamp that you guys want to hear about. So Tosin, let me see. Let's see. I've talked about certificate of completion. I think I've taken all the questions, really. I've taken all the questions. I had to say you have to save up for certification. I thought, yes, don't worry. If you're taking part in our bootcamp, your certification fee is a part of the training. Don't worry, I'll talk about that shortly. Just bear with me. Let me just get one more question for Tosin. Okay, so 2 more questions, Tosin, for you. One is, what's the difference between platform engineer and a DevOps engineer, right? And then, are there roles in cloud computing that are no code? So that's the penultimate question. And then the final question will be, is it necessary to have a cloud certification before applying for a job, you know, or is it necessary to have a cloud certification before applying for a job, right? So those are the 2 questions. Can you tell us the difference between you know, platform engineer and DevOps engineer? Are there other parts of cloud computing that are non-code, maybe like a cloud solutions architect? And then the final question for you is, how important is the certification when you're applying for a job? So once Tosin finishes that question, I will go straight and start telling you guys about the bootcamp and everything else you want to know about.
Yeah, so I get this question all the time. What's the difference between DevOps and platform engineer? So one thing you need to know is that, first of all, we all do the same thing. We deploy resources, we manage resources, we deal with CI/CD pipelines. Don't worry, you'll learn about that as time goes on. We deal with pipelines and all of that. So we do the same thing essentially. But then the difference is typically how we work that can be a bit different. So if you learn cloud, if you learn DevOps, you can do any of them. But how we operate can just be a bit different. So platform engineering, we have this idea that we are separated from the software. So if you're going to be a platform cloud DevOps engineer, you're definitely working on a software or a data project, something like that. Like you're working with software engineers, or you're working with data engineers or AI engineers, whatever the case is. In platform, we separate, you know, our platform, so to say. So I know what I'm saying right now might sound a bit abstract, but generally all of the resources that we use, we sort of separate it. So we have the idea that we're creating everything separately, and then we now have the software engineers or DevOps, or data engineers build on top of what we have done. Okay, but in the case of DevOps, they have the idea of doing things together. So they bring DevOps into the software project. So basically, once again, let me say we all do the same thing. Even DevOps engineers, they're starting to think like platform engineers. We all do the same thing. We all deploy the same resources. We all manage the pipelines. We all deal with monitoring. We do all of those things. But how we operate can just be different. Okay, so once again, platform we kind of think of separation. But DevOps, we sort of work together, sort of, with the other engineers. I hope that answers the question. The second question is, I think, is there a part that is not coding? Is that the second question? So, well, this question is a very interesting one. There are parts that you're not coding. And actually, essentially, DevOps is you're not really coding. But I would always say, don't run away from coding, because like I've mentioned, you are working with software engineers, you are working with data engineers, you are working with AI engineers. You need to understand what they are doing. I cannot provide a platform for a software engineer without understanding their software. I need to understand. Of course, I don't need to know the full picture. I'm not doing their job for them. I'm not going to. And that's one thing you should make sure. Don't do more than they are paying you for. That's just by the way. Don't try to do their job for them. But you need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to understand what they are doing. So yes, you can work without coding, but don't run away from coding. And believe me, it takes time. I know right now it might seem to you that, coding, I don't want, but I would really advise do it. And then you never can tell what comes your way. I work in consulting. Gbemi works in consulting. There are different projects. I can work on a project now that I'm not coding at all. And another project can come my way and I won't be able to. And in my company now, it can be a bit, sometimes we're competing for projects. While me and somebody were together looking for our next project, although I mean we'll still get salary and everything, but you want to keep moving forward in your career. So I see this project that I really want to get this project. I don't want to get some boring project that I will not even like. I want this particular project, and this project requires some coding. I mean, I have a marketing, what's the word? I can market myself better, saying, oh, of course I have Python. As a matter of fact, that's what happened with my current project. When they told me, it's going to have a lot of Python, I'm not doing the Python. But they did say that, oh, this particular project is something that I really wanted to work. I've been wanting to work on this particular project for a long time. And now the opportunity came and they told me, oh, well, we have a lot. I'm like, oh, I know Python. This is something I used to do a lot. Did they know that I used to teach in Cloud Booster? Of course, I didn't mention that, but I was like, oh, definitely, I know Python well. Imagine if I didn't have that. Of course, I'm still going to do cloud and DevOps. I'm still going to do my normal, typical. I'm not writing Python code, but just being able to say it. And then, of course, when the Python comes, I can read it, I can use it, and it makes my work better and faster. So yes, let's try to learn it. What's the final question?
That's all, Tosin. Thank you so much. So, Tosin, it's been amazing having you here, and thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. I hope that you guys have been able to get answers to your questions. So, Tosin, thank you so much for that session.
It was good to be here.
Time. Yeah, so you guys are left with me, and I'm going to answer all your questions about the bootcamp. So, let's start with the one-day bootcamp. Actually, most of you are asking about the 18 weeks bootcamp. So what we do at the 18 weeks bootcamp is that we take you on a journey from zero into cloud DevOps, right? Some of you are asking, do we provide post-training support? Absolutely. Our vision for you is to ensure that you're able to transition seamlessly from where you are right now into getting a role in cloud computing, right? And we know that that takes a while. So even after you finish your 18 weeks bootcamp with us, you have access to our alumni community. You have access to what we call the Cloud Booster Alumni DevOps Drive, right? With the DevOps Drive, what happens is that this is where we ensure that if you haven't taken your certification, you continue to prepare towards taking it. If you haven't gotten a job, you continue to work on projects that will make you get a job opportunity. And all of this is adding to your work experience. And then you get to use Cloud Booster as a leverage. You basically get to say that you have used Cloud Booster, you have worked with us at Cloud Booster. We provide reference for you, and then you're able to apply, because some of the things that stops you from getting job opportunities abroad is that they want you to have some level of abroad experience. Most companies don't want to be the first to be they don't want to be the first abroad company that you've worked with, right? So that's what Cloud Booster does, because we're registered in the UK, and then we give you that work experience, that UK work experience, and then you can add it to your profile. So it significantly helps you. So about the commitment that is required, we need you to show up every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., right? And this is where we get to teach you a blend of practical theory. You get to interact with industry professionals, and then we take you on that journey. And then after the technical training as well, you also get to learn about how to prepare for job, how to do your job interviews, your LinkedIn profile, all of that. We put all of that together, and we still support you after the training. The cost is only £3,000. I mean, compared to what you're going to be getting, it is so little. The starting salary of a cloud DevOps professional is 38,000. That's starting salary. The average salary of a cloud DevOps professional in the UK is about £60,000. By the time you have been in the industry for 2-3 years, the likelihood of you doubling your salary is on the go. By the time you have 5 years or 6 years in industry, we're talking about you being on 6 figures. That is your trajectory, and that is what you get. So putting in an investment of £3,000 is all you need to commit to the training. Put down your investment, and then you're able to transition seamlessly into the world of cloud computing. So that's the cost is 3,000. Now, for those of you that are interested, I say like, is this really what is for me? That is why we've now designed the one-day bootcamp for you. Come and have a taste of what our classes will look like, right? So with the one-day bootcamp, we then give you a taster into what our Cloud Booster classes look like. So you get to experience it. You get to see the level of support that we provide for you. We're literally with you all through that 18 weeks, helping you for just £3,000, right? Every single time. Yes, we accept payments in installments, right? So you can, we have 1 installment, 2 installment, 3 installment. You can pay in Naira, you can pay in dollars. We prefer it if you pay in pounds anyway, but then it is an investment that you're putting in because you know that you're going to commit yourself into the training, and then you get the returns from it. So it's £3,000 for that 18 weeks duration, but then you can experience the one-day bootcamp with us for just £10, right? We have a one-day bootcamp coming up on Saturday. Join us for that. That would also help you to see what cloud computing looks like. Now, some of you are asking, I want to get a roadmap and all of that. That's where you get the roadmap during the one-day bootcamp. Right. So during the one-day bootcamp, I'll talk, about the roadmap at the end, what your training should look like, what your training would look like. If you even decide that you want to train by yourself during the one-day bootcamp, I'll still show you what the things that you need to learn, because the demand is there. You would need the skills anyway. It's just that we tell you to avoid things that will not work. How many times have you decided that you're going to sign up for a training, you sign up for it, and then you don't follow up? Our Cloud Booster, we are on your neck. We track everything. We know all of you that have attended the training today. Well, we mark attendance at the end of every class. You get a monthly report from us at Cloud Booster. You get a monthly report about how you're performing. We get to test you. You do exam simulations with us, interview simulations. People have been able to go through it and succeed because of the level of intensity and level of support that we give you. So that is exactly what our training is all about. Sign up if you're interested. If you've already done the one-day bootcamp, I know some people here, you've done your one-day bootcamp with us already, and you're ready to sign up for the training. Just reach out to your program advisor. Reach out to any of the administrators on the group, right? Reach out to any of the administrators on the WhatsApp group that you're in, and you will be able to, we'll tell you how you can enroll in the training. But yeah, it's an investment that you put in. You will definitely get the rewards back. So that's what our 18 bootcamp looks like. 18 weeks bootcamp looks like. And that's what our one-day bootcamp is about as well. Are there any questions that I haven't answered? We literally just hit 1 hour on the dot. Are there any questions that have not been answered? Please make sure you use Slido for your questions, and then we'll take them all together. We are really looking forward to seeing you this Saturday. For those of you that are ready to go along, right? We are ready. So the training is for 18 weeks. Yeah, so it's only, some people are asking, it's only Saturdays. It's not even weekends. Your training is only on Saturdays, right? So you don't even train on Sundays. We like to give you Sunday to rest. Most of you have your 9 to 5s anyway. So we expect that you go to work Monday to Friday. Train with us on Saturday. You have assignments, right? It's intense. Like, you can, when it comes to intensity, you can be rest assured. But the good thing is that it works. It is comprehensive. It gives you everything you need. We don't just teach you theory that you're not going to use. We teach you practical. What you will be doing at work is what you will get to do with us. Okay. So that's it. So it's literally just Saturday. You get your Sunday to rest, right? £3,000 is the price of the 18 weeks bootcamp. Come and experience the one-day bootcamp with us for just £10. Of course, you can imagine the one-day bootcamp is worth a lot more than £10, but we put it there so that you can experience it. For people that are really serious and ready to go along, I mean, this could be that decision that could change your career trajectory. When it comes to investing in things, you have to look at what you're going to get back in return. So that's what you focus on. You focus on what you're trying to get. When you put down that investment, you're signing up for being able to transition into the world of cloud computing and start earning a lot more, significantly a lot more than that. So we're looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. Join us at One Day Bootcamp. We can't wait to have you. We're there to support you. Any questions? If you've done our bootcamp already, you're ready to sign up for the training, please reach out to us on WhatsApp. Reach out to the page administrators. We'll tell you what to do. You're interested in our installment payment plan, we're here for you as well, okay? And that's all for today. Does anybody have any other questions? Any other questions? Any other questions? Any questions at all? Please make sure you come for the bootcamp. We're looking forward to having you. Join us, join us, join us, join us. Join us on Saturday. Join us on Saturday. Thank you so much. That brings us to the end of our session today. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you. Thank you so much. That brings us to the end of our webinar today. Thank you for joining us. Sign up for the bootcamp. You get to find out more about our 18 weeks training during the bootcamp. Okay, thank you, 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 thank you. Yeah, I can see some people are coming to join us on Saturday. We're looking forward to having you as well. We're looking forward to having you. You know, some people will say, oh, you know, the training, if you compare the training to a master's degree program, I remember when I came to my master's in the UK, I spent over £20,000 for my master's program, right? And this was even like 6 years ago. And it was not sure for me. The degree that I did with that master's, right? I'm not even practicing it today. So all you're doing is you're putting £3,000 into a field that you know that there are job opportunities available there. You know, so compare that to doing a master's program in the UK. It is significantly more valuable for you. Okay, so I can see someone has a question. Please, have you dropped the question on the slide? Okay, well, please note that we finished the session, right? So if anybody has any questions, I don't want to delay us, but we finished the session today. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me just take Annie's question. Annie, what's your question? Go for it. I can see your hand raised. Okay, is that a mistake? I can see someone raise their hand. Yes, there are installment payment plans available. Yes, there are installment payments available. It's okay. Any kind of okay, please, Annie, just type your question for us and we'll take it. Please type it, we'll take it. Okay, please type it, we'll take it. Okay. Do you know the good thing is that the £3,000 that I'm saying is already highly discounted because some of you are asking for discount. Check for people that do the level of training that we do. You would not see anything less than £5,000, £6,000, right? And we go ahead and make sure we support you. Don't forget, you're also getting access to a post after your training. We're still not leaving you, and you're not going to be paying for being a part of the alumni community. You're still going to be with us. You're still going to be working on projects. You're still going to be building your portfolio. You're still preparing for your exam. If you have any other questions, just join us at the bootcamp. But trust me, it's a good investment for you. So join us at One Day Bootcamp this Saturday, and we'll take all your questions. We're looking forward to having you. Many of you are signed up already. I personally am looking forward to seeing you on Saturday, okay? All right, thank you. We have to end the call now. Thank you so much, everyone. Please enjoy the rest of your day and see you on Saturday. See you on Saturday. Thank you, guys. Bye.